Have you ever found yourself stuck in a situation where an ex-boyfriend just won't let go? That feeling that he's always around, sending incessant messages and trying to rekindle something that's already over? Well, this is a reality that many people face. And the truth is that, for some, getting rid of an annoying ex-boyfriend can seem like an almost impossible mission. But don't worry. You're not alone on this journey. This guide brings you infallible tips to help you finally get rid of that ex who won't leave you alone and, most importantly, regain your emotional freedom. Get ready to discover practical strategies that will not only ensure that you move on for good, but will also help you rediscover your self-esteem and open yourself up to new experiences. Life is too short to be wasted on relationships that no longer serve you, and the future is full of promises. You just need to take the first step. It's amazing how some signs that your ex hasn't gotten over the relationship can be obvious, but sometimes difficult to identify, especially when we're emotionally involved. That ex-boyfriend who won't leave you alone usually starts sending you messages at all hours of the day, as if there's still something to be resolved. He insists on revisiting the past, wanting to go back in time, remembering good times you shared, as if that could change the current situation. This type of behavior is a clear sign that he hasn't gotten over the breakup. Another way to notice that your ex-boyfriend won't let go is his constant desire to keep in touch, whether through mutual friends or even family members. He tries to infiltrate your circle in some way, as if he wanted to have a guaranteed place in your life, even without being invited. Some people even show up, by chance, at places they know you frequent, which can be embarrassing and invasive. Therefore, it's important to identify these signs and act quickly to avoid future problems. Obsession with social media is also a very common sign. That ex who likes all your old photos, comments on your posts in a passive-aggressive way, or even sends you public indirect messages is clearly trying to get your attention. In these moments, it is essential to remember that this type of behavior is not healthy for anyone. If you find yourself in this situation, a good idea is to start changing your privacy settings, and if necessary, block your ex so that he understands once and for all that you have moved on. What many people do not realize is that these signs, although uncomfortable, are common when the ex-boyfriend is not over the relationship. But it is essential to know how to deal with them, and that starts with being clear about the situation. After all, when an ex keeps showing up in your life uninvited, the next logical step is to establish clear boundaries, which we will see later. Establishing clear boundaries is essential to preserving your emotional peace when you are trying to get rid of an ex-boyfriend who won't leave you alone. If he keeps sending you incessant messages or trying to contact you through other means, the first step is to communicate directly that the relationship is over and that you need some space. You don't have to be rude, but you do have to be firm. Often, unresponsiveness or blocking on social media is the most effective way to cut off communication. A lack of response also speaks volumes about your intention to move on. When communication isn't working, taking more practical steps can be the solution. For example, adjusting your privacy settings on social media is a great place to start. This includes restricting who can see your posts and even preventing your ex from accessing your content. These small steps show that you are in control of the situation and that your personal space is a priority. Every ignored message or blocked contact is a reminder to him that you are out of reach. And when it comes to in-person encounters, the same rule applies. Setting clear boundaries means avoiding situations where you might accidentally run into your ex. If he keeps showing up in the same places as you, it's time to change your routine or simply avoid those environments. This may seem like a momentary sacrifice, but in the long run, it is the best way to ensure your peace of mind. This type of attitude also prevents him from interpreting any encounter as a sign of openness to getting back together. Finally, by establishing these boundaries, you are also reinforcing to yourself how important it is to take care of your emotional health. Sometimes we feel guilty about blocking someone or cutting ties, but these boundaries are essential to ensure that you can move forward without feeling stuck in the past. And so, with these boundaries well defined, it becomes much easier to deal with other situations, such as avoiding accidental encounters, which can lead to bad relationships. We'll cover the following. Avoiding accidental encounters with an ex-boyfriend who won't let go can seem like a challenge, but with a few smart strategies, you can minimize these awkward situations. One of the first things you can do is adjust your routine. If you know that he frequents certain places at specific times, a simple change in your schedule can prevent these unexpected encounters. For example, if you used to go to the gym in the late afternoon, you might want to change it to the morning or choose a different location. These adjustments can make all the difference in your peace of mind. Another effective tip is to diversify the places you usually go. We often have our favorite comfort spots, such as cafes, parks, or bars, but if your ex also knows these places, it's time to explore new options. This will not only help you avoid running into him, but it will also give you the opportunity to discover new places and people. If you are someone who likes routine, changing your environment may seem like a small inconvenience, but think of it as a chance to renew your social life and, at the same time, keep your distance from those you want to avoid. If you notice that accidental encounters continue to happen even with all these changes, it may be time to talk to mutual friends. They can be your allies, letting you know when your ex is around or helping you avoid uncomfortable situations. A good example is asking friends to let you know if he or she is at events or places you also intend to go. This way, you can prepare yourself or choose other options for your leisure time, avoiding unwanted surprises. And, of course, even with all these strategies, it is important to have a plan in mind in case the encounter actually happens. It does not need to be something elaborate, but a quick action, such as greeting politely and going on your way, can be enough to show that you are okay with it. And if the encounter happens frequently, it may be time to adopt a more direct stance, as we will see in the next point, where humor can be a great ally. Humor is a powerful tool, especially when it comes to disarming an ex who won't leave you alone. Sometimes, uncomfortable situations can arise unexpectedly, and a humorous response can lighten the mood without leaving room for misunderstandings. Imagine you meet your ex at a coffee shop and he starts asking questions like, "How have you been?" or "Remember that day?" Instead of letting the discomfort take over, a light-hearted response like, "Oh, yes, but the present is even more interesting, don't you think?" can help to subtly change the focus of the conversation. Another practical example is when your ex insists on trying to contact you through texts, always bringing up the past. Instead of responding seriously or angrily, you can use humor to show that it no longer has any relevance. Something like, "Wow, I didn't even remember that anymore." "Good memories of you," is a witty way to end the conversation without creating an argument. The important thing here is that humor should not be used to encourage more contact, but rather to deflect insistence in a light-hearted manner. Using humor also serves as a form of emotional self-protection. By laughing at situations that would previously have bothered you, you show yourself that their power to affect you is diminishing. Of course, humor is not always the appropriate response, but when used correctly, it can significantly reduce tension. The secret is not to let your ex notice any emotional fragility, but rather that you are in a lighter and more relaxed moment in your life. In addition, humor can open doors to create distance without being aggressive, which is very important for those who want to avoid conflicts. Knowing when and how to use it makes all the difference. And to consolidate this stance, one of the next important steps is to let go of objects and memories from the past, which we will see in the next topic. Letting go of objects and memories of an ex-boyfriend who won't leave you alone is an essential step to moving on. Often, it's the little things, like a photo, a gift, or even a saved message, that keep emotions tied to the past. Every time you look at that gift, for example, a flood of memories can come to mind, which makes the process of letting go difficult. One of the best ways to start is to do a physical and digital cleanse. Sort through everything that reminds you of your ex and evaluate whether it really brings you anything positive. If not, it may be the ideal time to donate or discard these items. This process of letting go goes beyond physical objects. Think about social media too. Many people keep old photos or saved conversations with their ex, and this can be a big obstacle to turning the page. Deleting these digital memories, whether they're photos or even archived messages, is a way to give up. Next step towards a new chapter in your life. After all, the fewer traces of your ex, the easier it is to create a new narrative for yourself. The feeling of freedom that comes from erasing these records can be invigorating. If letting go seems difficult, try associating objects with new meanings. For example, if your ex gave you a book that you love, and you feel like you can't get rid of it, how about donating it to someone or using it as a marker of overcoming? Transforming these items into something positive that doesn't emotionally tie you to the past can be a creative way to move forward without giving up everything. The important thing is that these objects no longer have the emotional weight they once carried. This act of letting go is, in fact, a symbolic gesture that you are ready for new experiences. Every time you remove something that connects you to your ex, you are making room for the new. And, of course, during this process, the help of friends and family can be essential, as we will see below. Having the support of friends and family is one of the most valuable resources for those trying to get over an ex-boyfriend who won't leave you alone. They often see the situation more clearly and objectively, offering advice that you may not have considered. In addition, they can be your allies in critical moments, such as when your ex shows up unexpectedly at events or tries to get back together in some way. For example, when you go out with friends, you can inform them about the situation, and they can act as a safety net, keeping the necessary distance. Another important role that friends and family play is to help you remember the reasons why the relationship ended. When your ex insists on trying to get back in touch, it's easy to forget the problems and romanticize the past. In these moments, a close friend or family member can be the voice of reason, bringing to light the aspects that you may be ignoring. They act as emotional anchors, keeping you firm in your decisions and helping you avoid falling back into old patterns of behavior. In addition, friends can be an excellent source of healthy distraction. Organizing outings, trips, or even meetings to do new hobbies is a way to fill your time with activities that take your mind off your ex. The more you engage in new experiences and the less you isolate yourself, the harder it will be for your ex to try to interfere in your healing process. Having people who want the best for you by your side is essential, as they help you stay focused on the present and not give in to pressure. This external support also strengthens your self-esteem, showing you that you are not alone and that you are capable of moving forward with a support network around you. They can help you maintain the silence necessary to deal with the situation, which can be more effective than 1,000 words, as we will see in the next point. Sometimes, the most powerful response to an ex-boyfriend who won't leave you alone is absolute silence. Ignoring attempts to contact you can be the clearest message you can send. Responding, even if it is to refuse, can keep the cycle of communication open, giving your ex space to keep insisting. When you choose silence, you are establishing an invisible but firm boundary, making it clear that there is no longer room for that person in your life. By avoiding any kind of response, you reduce the chances of prolonging the drama. It is natural to feel like you need to justify yourself or give explanations, but silence communicates much more than words. The lack of response is often interpreted as disinterest or indifference, something that the other person will eventually have to accept. This is especially important when your ex tries to manipulate emotions or make you feel guilty. When he realizes that his attempts are not having any effect, the tendency is that, little by little, he gives up trying. Here, silence becomes a tool of self-control and emotional protection. However, silence is not only about stopping responding directly to your ex. It also involves silence on social media and in public life. Not posting details about your feelings or indirect messages can prevent your ex from finding loopholes to try to get back together. You can adjust your privacy settings to ensure that he does not have access to what you are doing. This way, you take control of the narrative of your life, showing that the past is behind you. This complete detachment creates an environment that is more conducive to healing and reconnecting with yourself. And while silence is effective, there are other ways to use social media to your advantage, as we will see in the next topic. Social media is a powerful tool that can be used to help you get rid of an annoying ex-boyfriend who won't let go. One of the first steps is to adjust your privacy settings. Increasing your privacy protection and your posts and limiting who can see your content can make all the difference. If your ex is constantly checking in on you, a simple change in your settings can prevent him from accessing information that might motivate him to reach out. You have control over who sees what, and by limiting your exposure, you reduce the chance of unwanted interference. Another strategy is to unfollow or block your ex on all platforms. This may seem drastic, but it is essential for your emotional well-being. By doing this, you avoid the temptation to peek at what he is doing or feel bad about anything he may post. Also, consider sharing positive moments in your life. Posting about personal achievements, new hobbies, or even hanging out with friends can send a clear message that you are moving forward and that you no longer need the past. Showing that you are happy and comfortable with yourself is a powerful way to affirm your new reality. When you are feeling good, social media can be a great place to showcase your progress. Posting about your personal growth, travels, or new experiences not only shows that you are moving forward, but it can also serve as inspiration for others who are going through similar situations. A photo of you in a beautiful place or doing an activity you love can attract attention and positive comments from friends, reinforcing the idea that you are in a new chapter in your life. Finally, by using social media strategically, you are not only distancing yourself from your ex, but you are also creating a space for self-esteem and self-worth. The next steps involve focusing more on yourself, rebuilding your self-esteem and self-love, something essential for those who are breaking up with an ex who won't stop insisting. After a breakup, it is common for your self-esteem to take a hit, especially when an ex-boyfriend won't give up on infiltrating your life. Therefore, focusing on yourself is essential in this process. Investing time in activities that you love, such as dancing, painting, or even playing sports, can be extremely invigorating. The important thing is to engage in activities that make your heart sing and remind you of the incredible person you are, without depending on anyone else's approval. By rediscovering your interests, you begin to realize that your worth is not tied to a relationship. Also, consider starting a gratitude journal. Writing down 3 things you appreciate about yourself every day, no matter how small, can help change your mindset. These small positive affirmations reinforce your image and, over time, you will find yourself more confident. For example, if you have always had a talent for cooking, write that down. These small reminders become great reminders of how capable and special you are. In addition to helping your self-esteem, this practice connects you with yourself in a unique way. Another effective strategy is to practice self-care. Set aside time in your schedule to take care of yourself, whether it's through a relaxing bath, a meditation session, or even a spa day at home. This not only improves your appearance, but most importantly, it gives you a sense of well-being. When you feel good about yourself, it's harder to let a boring ex get to you. Start seeing these actions as an investment in yourself, not an indulgence. Not only does focusing on yourself boost your self-esteem, it also creates an emotional barrier against unwanted attempts at reconnection. As you focus on your own growth, you'll find yourself becoming stronger and less vulnerable. This inner strength will be a huge asset in dealing with the guilt that can arise from breaking off contact, a topic we'll cover below. It's common to feel guilty about cutting ties with an ex, especially when he or she keeps trying to get in touch. Many people wonder if they're being cruel or if they should somehow be more understanding. It's important to remember that prioritizing your emotional well-being isn't selfish, it's a healthy and necessary choice. No matter how positive you may have felt toward this person at some point, the reality is that if the relationship has become toxic or draining, the best thing to do is to let go. One of the first steps to dealing with guilt is to recognize that you are not responsible for the other person's happiness. Everyone is responsible for their own emotional journey. Remember that your ex may be going through a difficult time, but that doesn't mean you should sacrifice yourself or go back on your decisions. Putting your own mental health first is a way of respecting and valuing yourself. Thinking in this way helps to ease the guilt that may arise when breaking off contact. A practical technique is to write down the reasons why you have decided to end the relationship. This list can serve as a powerful reminder that you made the right decision. When guilt starts to creep in, simply reread these reasons and remind yourself of what led you to seek this freedom. It may be helpful to break this list down into topics, such as unwanted behavior, lack of emotional support, or other reasons that bothered you. By revisiting these points, you reinforce the idea that your decision was not impulsive, but a conscious and thoughtful choice. Finally, when letting go of an ex who won't leave you alone, keep in mind that it is a process. Guilt may come and go, but it is your job to manage it and not let it control your actions. Once you take ownership of your emotional space, you will be more prepared to open yourself up to new experiences and loves, something we will discuss below. After breaking free from an annoying ex-boyfriend who kept nagging, it is time to look to the future with optimism. One of the most important steps in this process is opening yourself up to new experiences. This can mean everything from meeting new people to trying out hobbies you've always wanted to explore but never had the courage to. By allowing yourself to experience new situations, you begin to rewrite your story and create memories that are uniquely yours, without the influence of the past. A great way to start this journey is to step outside your comfort zone. Why not sign up for a dance, painting, or cooking class? These activities not only provide valuable learning, but they are also perfect opportunities to make new friends and, who knows, even find a new love. By being surrounded by new people and situations, you expand your social network and allow yourself to experience moments of joy that can replace the ones that brought you no joy in the past. In addition, focusing on new experiences can help to strengthen your self-esteem and self-love. Each new achievement, no matter how small, brings a sense of accomplishment and personal growth. Imagine yourself at a social event, talking to people who share similar interests. These interactions help to reinforce your identity and show that you are much more than someone's ex-girlfriend. This new perspective can transform not only the way you see yourself, but also the way others see you. Finally, remember that the future is a blank canvas, and you are the artist of this work. Opening yourself up to new experiences means allowing yourself to live, love, and be happy again. Each step on this new journey is a step towards a life full of opportunities and new achievements, which is already just a step away from you. And now that you have learned how to get rid of an ex-boyfriend who won't give up, it's time to really enjoy this freedom and discover everything that life has to offer. Now that you have learned the foolproof tips for getting rid of an annoying ex-boyfriend, how about putting all of this into practice? Remember that you deserve a healthy relationship and that your happiness should come first. Did you identify with any of the situations we discussed? Share your experience in the comments. We want to know how you are dealing with it and if the tips helped you. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to continue receiving valuable content about relationships and self-help. Each video is a new opportunity to learn and grow, and we're here to support you on this journey. So, let's join us.